All right, hello everyone. Today we're going to continue playing through some Marvel Champions games. Today our hero is going to be She-Hulk. She-Hulk is one of the characters that was in the original base game of Marvel Champions. So she is going to be an aggression character, but she also can do some justice things as well. So she has an ability on her alter ego side where she can prevent one threat that is added to a scheme. On her hero side, she has after you change to this form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So dealing some damage as well. And then obviously you can see she's a little bit better at attacking than she is at thwarting. And then she is an aggression character, so she's going to have quite a few aggression cards, these red cards in her deck. But she also has some ability to do thwarting and justice things as well because she is a lawyer. So that's kind of cool. Our villain that we're going to be playing against today is going to be Stryfe from the second most recent expansion, the Next Evolution expansion. Stryfe is Cable's clone, and he's a villain, obviously. What he does is he is going to be checking about what cards you have in your hand. It's kind of an interesting mechanism that they've done with him. So it says, while Stryfe is attacking you, he gets plus X attack, where X is the number of cards of the most common type in your hand. So let's take a look at my starting hand and use that as an example. So in my starting hand, I have 3 events and 3 upgrades. So I have 2 different types of cards. I have 3 of each. So for his card, it says X is the number of cards of the most common type. I've got 2 of the most common types. That's 3. So his attack would be plus 3. If I only had, let's say I only had 2 upgrades and 3 events, then events would be the most common and I'd have 3. If I had 2 and 2, then 2 would be the most common, so on and so forth. So when he attacks, he's going to check what you have in your hand. Then, when he adds threat onto his main scheme at the beginning of each of his turns, he's also going to check what you have in your hand. So, normally, step 1 of the villain phase is adding threat onto the main scheme. He's going to skip that phase, essentially. He's going to add 0 threat. But then, after resolving step 1, each player places threat here, where X is the number of cards of the most common type in their hand. Each player may discard 1 card from their hand before calculating the value of X. So again, I would have had 3 events, 3 upgrades, so I would have had to add 3 threat. But I could have discarded a card. Say I discard this, but then that wouldn't have changed anything. I still would have had 3 events, and so I still would have had 3. But if discarding a card can bring you down, then you can do that, but you don't have to. So then the other thing that he is doing is throughout the entire Next Evolution campaign, well, half of it at least, you are fighting over control of Hope Summers. We have to use her as an ally throughout the game, and if she is defeated, then we lose, just like the other scenarios where we've used her. And then we have a side scheme that starts in play at the beginning of the game. It's going to start with 10 threat, 6 per player plus 4. And then it says Hope Summers can attack only Stryfe and can thwart only this scheme. After Stryfe is defeated or the last threat is removed from this scheme, flip this card over and reveal Living Bomb. So on the back side is Living Bomb. If we flip it over by removing the last threat, then it'll just flip over and we'll only have 3 threat on it. If we flip it over by defeating Stryfe, and there's still threat left on here, any remaining threat that's still on here will be added onto the backside here onto the Living Bomb side. So it'll be 3 plus whatever was left on that backside. Then we still can't defeat Stryfe while this is in play, so Stryfe cannot be defeated. When revealed, advance the main scheme. So when this gets flipped over, the main scheme is going to go to the second stage, even if it wasn't anywhere near finishing. And then it'll go to the second stage, and then we have to finish this scheme in order to defeat him a second time and win. Because just like normal, we need to defeat Stryfe stage 1 and Stryfe stage 2. And that is it. So let's go ahead and look at my starting hand here and see what we've got. So I've got First Aid, which is an action I can do in either hero or alter ego form. And it lets me do 2 damage from any character, so I can use that on myself or one of my allies. I've got 2 copies of Brute Force. It's an upgrade. Your hero gets +1 attack. Your basic attacks gain piercing. After you make a basic attack, discard Brute Force. So gives you a single +1 piercing attack, and then it goes away. So if I had them both in play, I could get +2 to an attack, and then it would go away. Superhuman Strength is a permanent upgrade where She-Hulk gets +2 attack, permanent unless something tells it to go away. It's not like Brute Force where it discards after doing something. So she gets +2 attack. After she attacks, never mind. After she attacks, discard Superhuman Strength and stun the attacked enemy. Never mind. It is also one that discards after you use it. Quick Strike, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. So it'd be kind of cool to put this in play. She-Hulk gets +2 attack. Then deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. Be kind of cool to do it that way. And then the last one is Split Personality, change your form. Then draw up to your printed hand size. Her hand size is 6 in alter ego form. And then in hero form, it is only 4. So she's going to have card issues while she is in hero form, just like Hulk and some of the other lower hand size characters. Okay, well, obviously I don't need to heal. My basic attacks gaining piercing is not super useful right now because he does not have tough. So I think I want to add Superhuman Strength and go from there. So I'm going to pay First Aid and Brute Force to play Superhuman Strength. Gives me +2 attack. And then I am going to go ahead and flip to hero form. When I change to hero form, I deal 2 damage to an enemy. So I'll go ahead and deal 2 damage to Stryfe. Just realized it's kind of cut off there. Let me lift that up a little bit. Maybe. Come on, phone. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. So with that, Hope Summers' stats are equal to mine. So her thwart is equal to whatever my thwart is, and her attack is equal to whatever my attack is. But it's not equal to my printed attack and thwart. It's equal to just whatever my current attack and thwart is. So She-Hulk's attack right now is 5 because of Superhuman Strength. So that means Hope Summers' attack is also 5. However, we can't remove any threat from the main scheme while this is in play. So I also would like to thwart this. But if I defeat Stryfe, then this will just go through. I'll be able to flip this over anyway. But then any threat that's left will go to the next stage. So I can't just ignore it. I'm eventually going to have to thwart it. But I just don't have any real ability to thwart right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with Hope, 4/5. Just hit real hard. Knock Stryfe down to 8. And then I'm going to spend 2 resources to play Quick Strike and deal damage to an enemy equal to my attack. So I'll deal 5 more and bring him down to 3. And then after She-Hulk attacks, discard Superhuman Strength and stun the attacked enemy. So I'm going to stun Stryfe. So when he attacks me during his turn, he won't be able to. Then my regular attack goes down to 3. So I could defeat him. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thwart for 1. Unless do I want... Because when I flip over Living Bomb, it's going to immediately go to the next stage. So let's look at that and see if I want to do that or not. So in the second stage, it says Stryfe gains Stalwart, which means he would not be stunned or confused anymore. We each get +2 hand size, but we increase the resource cost to play each player card by 1. I don't want to do that yet because I would like to get my board built up a little bit more first before we get that done. Obviously, it's kind of cool that we'd be able to kill him in 1 round, but that's not always the smartest thing to do. So yeah, I'm going to thwart for 1 there. And then I'm going to ready everything and draw up to my hand size, which is only 4. All right, so let's see what I got here. So I got, all right, toe to toe, choose an enemy. That enemy attacks you, deal 5 damage to that enemy. So kind of taunting the enemy that we attack each other. Superhuman Law Division is an alter ego. Exhaust Superhuman Law Division and spend a blue resource to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Ground Stop, deal 1 damage to each enemy, so that'd be good if there were minions in play. And then Hellcat Ally, as an action, she can return to your hand. So you can play her, use her to do 2 things, and then if she's 1 damage away from dying, you could return her to your hand and play her again. That's kind of cool. It's been a long time since I've played She-Hulk, since she's one of the older characters, so I don't remember every single one of her cards. I remember most of them, but I forgot that Hellcat was a thing. That's really cool. Okay, so then it is going to be Stryfe's turn. So in my hand, the single card type that I have the most of is events. So I have 2 events. So I could discard one of these events to make it so I only have 1 event. But I want to be able to play Hellcat, and so I need the other 3 cards in order to do that. So what that means is Stryfe is going to get 2 threat on the main scheme. And then when he would attack me, he would be attacking me for 0 + 2 because of those 2 events in my hand. But when he attacks me, he's going to just lose his stunned instead of attacking me. And then he's going to give me an encounter card for the round, which is Mental Transferal. If Stryfe's Grasp is in play, it is, attach this card to Hope Summers. Okay, so after Stryfe takes any amount of damage, attached character takes an equal amount of damage, discard this card. So the next time I attack Stryfe, I need to do 1 damage to him or 2 damage to him, because the amount of damage I do to him is going to also go to Hope Summers, and if she takes 3 damage, she dies and we lose. So the next time I deal damage to him, I need to just deal 1 damage to him. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to go ahead and play Hellcat for 3 resources. And then I am going to... I'd like to thwart with her. But I also want to get rid of the mental transferal off of Hellcat. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with her for 1. So I'm going to do 1 damage to Stryfe. And then 1 damage will also go to Hope Summers because of the mental transferal. And then this card will get discarded. Okay, then I am going to... let's do a thwart with She-Hulk. And a thwart with Hope Summers. And then we'll call that good. Draw my 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. With this particular scenario, I don't mind too much if the main scheme triggers, because when I finish this one, it's going to trigger anyway. Like if I defeat him or if I remove all the threat from here, then it's going to go to the next main scheme anyway. So having this go to the next main scheme is not the end of the world. However, we don't want this to go to the next main scheme while this still has a ton of threat on it, because then we might lose if he finishes that second one as well. Okay, so my new hand, I've got Legal Practice. Choose and discard up to 5 cards from your hand. Remove 1 threat from a scheme for each card discarded this way. I might be flipping to Alter Ego form next turn. Unshakable, play only if your identity has at least 14 printed hit points. She-Hulk has 15. Your identity gains steady. Quick Strike we had already. Deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. And the Ironheart ally. After you play Ironheart from your hand, draw a card. Okay, so then in my hand, I have 2 events again. So he's going to get 2 threat on the main scheme. And then he is going to attack me for 0 plus 2. And I am not going to defend it because she has quite a few hit points. So he's going to hit me for 2, 3. So I'll go down to 12 hit points. And then he's going to give me an encounter card. Counter card is the Villain Schemes. He schemes for 1, 2, discard a card from your hand, then draw a card. So he schemes for 2. And I discard, draw. I think I'm going to discard Unshakable and draw a card to replace that, which is First Aid. Okay. All right. So then on my turn, I am going to, this time I am going to thwart with Hellcat. So she is going to take 2 threat off of Stryfe's Grasp. And she took a damage, and I'm going to use the action to pull her back to my hand. And then I think I'm going to thwart twice for 1 each on Stryfe's Grasp. And then I'm going to flip to Alter Ego form. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and play Legal Practice. Choose and discard up to 5 cards from your hand and remove 1 threat from a scheme for each card discarded this way. So I think I'm going to discard 3 cards. And I'm going to do these 3. I'm going to hold on to Hellcat just in case I might be able to play her again. I'm going to discard these 3 cards. And I am going to finish off Stryfe's Grasp. Okay, so after this card is defeated or the last threat is removed, flip it, and then it comes back in with 3. So now we need to remove those 3, defeat him for those, and then we have to do that before we can hit him for those 2 damage, and then we'll just have to defeat him again, and then that'll be the end. Okay, and then I think that's going to be the end of my turn. And now that I'm in Alter Ego form, I can draw up to 6. So I'm going to hold on to Hellcat and draw 6 cards, up to 6 cards. And then the last thing that I forgot to do is when revealed on Living Bomb, advance to stage 2 on the main scheme. Okay. So stage 2 on the main scheme, like I said, gives Stryfe Stalwart, so he cannot be stunned or confused. And then each identity gets +2 hand size, so I actually get to draw up to 8. And then, but then each card I play costs 1 more than it normally would. So I need to draw 2 more cards to get up to 8. All right, let's see what I got. Okay, so I got a Genius card, Resource card. I got Smash the Problem, exhaust your hero, and remove a threat. Remove threat from a scheme equal to your hero's attack. 1-2 punch after you make a basic attack. Ready, She-Hulk. And then I could do that again. Toe-to-toe we talked about. Enemy attacks you, you deal 5 damage to the enemy. Superhuman strength we had before, +2 attack, and then it stuns the enemy. +2 attack is good, but he can no longer be stunned because he gained Stalwart. Combat training, your hero gets +1 attack. This one is an actual permanent. You get +1 attack, which is good. And then we held on to Hellcat. Okay. So then he no longer does threat on the main scheme based on what cards I have in my hand. He just gains 1. But he does still attack me based on what I have in my hand. So I have... Oh boy, I have lots of events. So 3 events... 4 events. I have 4 events. Oh, he's scheming, so it doesn't matter because I'm in alter ego form, so it doesn't matter. So he's going to scheme for 1 plus a card. Scheme for 3, but then since I'm in alter ego form, I can do I object. When threat would be placed on a scheme, prevent 1 of it. So he's only going to scheme for 2 instead of 3. Okay. Then he gives me an encounter card, which is Intimidation. I am playing with the Goblin Gimmicks modular encounter set as one of the ones I'm playing with. So this says choose to either spend 2 resources of any type or give the villain 1 face down boost card. Well, all of my cards cost more. So even though I have more cards in my hand, all of my cards also cost more. So I don't really want to make me discard cards. So I'll give him an extra boost card for his next activation. Okay. While I'm in alter ego form, I do not need to heal. Let me see if I have any other alter ego things that I would like to do. I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and flip to hero form. When I flip to hero form, I do 2 damage. So that would do 2 damage to him, but I can't defeat him. So I don't remember exactly how that would work. I think he would still go to 0 health. But then he just wouldn't advance to his next stage. So he would go to 0 health, but he wouldn't advance to his next stage because of Living Bomb being in play. That's how the multiple villain scenarios work, where they say, like, this villain can't be defeated while the other villains have health or whatever. They can still go to 0, they're just not technically defeated until the other condition is met. I'm not sure how that works. We'll just go with that for now. I need to remove those threat. So I need to pay, I'm going to pay 2 resources with Genius to play Smash the Problem because all of my cards cost 1 more. I'm going to exhaust my hero. Oh, nope, you know what? I need to make sure I do this in the right order. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. That's unfortunate. Okay, so yeah, so Smash the Problem. Exhaust my hero and remove threat from a scheme equal to my hero's attack, which is 3, so I'm going to remove those 3. Okay. This has the victory keyword, so it goes away. And then that would immediately mean he's defeated then because he's at 0 health. He comes back in with 17 health. And he says, when revealed... Each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until a psionic attachment is discarded and reveals that card. Okay. So he's going to get some kind of an upgrade. Let's see what he gets. Nice. Only had to discard a couple cards. So I discarded those 2. And then the third card is... Mind Alteration. Attached to your identity. After you play an event or upgrade, take 1 damage. After you recover, spend a blue resource and discard this card. So every event or upgrade I play will cause me to take a damage until I do a heal action on my alter ego side and spend a blue resource to get rid of it. That is not fun. Okay. All right, let's see what else I've got here. Okay, I think what I'm going to do next is I want to play Superhuman Strength or Combat Training. I wish I could play both. total they would cost 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could play both. Yeah, let's play both. I'll play all 4 of these cards. No, together they cost 6. Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Never mind. So I'm going to play Superhuman Strength. So I'm going to do, it's going to cost 3. I'm going to do 1, 2, let's do 3. And play Superhuman Strength. Gives me +2 attack, which increases Hope Summers' attack. So she's going to swing and hit Stryfe for 5. Down to 12. And then I can't play either of these because Hellcat would cost 4. 1-2 Punch would cost 2, and I don't have enough for either of those. Superhuman Strength is an upgrade, so that will deal a damage to me because of Mind Alteration. So I am down to 11. And I think that's going to be my whole turn. Okay, so my hand size is 4, but because of the +2, it's actually 6. So I'm going to hold on to both of these and draw up to 6. Okay, so I got a resource card, Strength. I got another Legal Practice. I got Now I'm Mad. Play under any player's control. While their hero's remaining hit points is less than half of starting, your hero gets +1 attack, -1 thwart. Held on to 1-2 Punch. I drew Brawn. After Brawn attacks, remove 1 threat from a scheme. Held on to Hellcat, and that's it. Okay, so he just gets 1 threat on the main scheme. Then his attack is based on how many cards I have. I've got 2 allies, 2 events. So 2 is how much he's going to attack me for. So he's going to attack me for 1, +2 is 3, and he gets 2 boost cards. So I'm definitely going to have to defend this one, I think. Because it could be 8 damage, I think would be the max it could be. 3, 9 damage is the max that it could be. Oof. That would put me at 2 health. Yeah, so I'm going to defend it. And then, man, but I don't have a way to ready myself right now. Ooh, boy. I might have to not defend it. Yeah, I'm going to have to not defend it and hope nothing bad happens. So he's attacking me for 3, 4, 5, 6. That could have been a lot worse. Okay, so I'm down to 5. All right, and then I get an encounter. Encounter is Goblin Glider. Attached to the enemy, and he gets +1 attack. Okay. Okay. Can I just kill him? That would be wonderful. Okay. So I'm going to attack with Hope Summers first. Nope, I can do this first. So I'm going to spend a resource, 2 resources. I'm just going to spend these 2 allies to play Now I'm Mad. That's an upgrade, so I have to take a damage. My health is less than half of starting. So I get +1 attack and -1 thwart. So now my attack is 3, 4, 5, 6. So Hope is going to attack for 6. Down to 6. I think I'm going to kill him exactly. I'm going to do exactly 12 damage. And then basic attack of 3, 4, 5, 6. And that knocks him all the way down to 0. And then I could have also, even if it hadn't quite knocked him all the way down, I could have played Strength to do 1-2 Punch after you make a basic attack, ready She-Hulk. And then I could have, and this would have gone away. And then I would have been able to do 3, 4 more. So even if he had 16 health there, I could have knocked him out. So yeah, not defending was the correct choice in that situation. But if I had died, obviously it wouldn't have been. So it was kind of just down to the card draw there. I had enough health left that it was worth it because I had 11 health left, and the likelihood that he was going to hit me for 11, even with 2 boost cards, was pretty low. So, all right, hey, we got a win with an aggression character. That doesn't seem like that's been happening a lot lately. That was She-Hulk versus Stryfe. Our next game will be I've got it pulled up on my computer here. Spider Suit. So the robot spider, Penny Parker, versus Taskmaster will be the next game. So check that out when it comes out. Thanks for watching, everyone.